What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, I just finished listening to the interview that multiple people sent me of Lamont Roach, and people immediately took the one thing that everybody highlighted and took from that fight, from that interview with the WBA super featherweight champion, now lightweight and junior welterweight title contender, is that Lamont Roach said that he was going to take Gervonta Tank Davis to court because Gervonta Tank Davis breached the contract and he didn't get paid, fight didn't went through, and Gervonta Tank Davis didn't sign to fight somebody else. So everybody highlighted that and took that from it. I didn't take that from it. What I took from it is two things. It told me more about Gervonta Tank Davis, and it told me about Floyd Mayweather when Lamont Roach said that Floyd Mayweather reached out to him after the fight was over, and he didn't want to, reveal what was said when Floyd Mayweather in that phone call. We know when Floyd Mayweather reached out to him, that was him reaching out to let him know that, to hold your head up, I thought you won the fight. That's why he reached out to him. If Lamont Roach clearly lost, right? I'm not saying Floyd wouldn't have reached out to him, but Floyd reached out because he was letting him know, hey, hold your head up, you got robbed, right? Lamont Roach was a 25-1 underdog the night of the fight. As the events in any sports get closer to the actual event, the odds always shrink. It still was a 15-1 underdog for Lamont Roach, which means the world expected Tank Davis to blow him out. He fought to a draw. The fight should have been a victory for Lamont Roach, in my opinion, and many people's opinion, including Floyd Mayweather. That's why he reached out. Another thing it highlighted to me was that why Gervonta Tank Davis didn't take the rematch. Why Gervonta Tank Davis took this fight and was pursuing this fight to begin with. Remember, it was said that Gervonta Tank Davis was highlighting Lamont Roach for a minute. Remember, Lamont Roach said before he fought Hector Garcia, he was contacting Lamont Roach. Before he fought Isaac Cruz, they contacted Lamont Roach. And I didn't understand why. But now I understand it's the personality and the traits of Gervonta Tank Davis. When Lamont Roach broke down the fact that they come from that area, Baltimore DMV area, and they were 1-2 in the world at one point in time, and they fought twice in the amateurs as youth. First fight, he stated that Gervonta Tank Davis, won the fight. Second fight, he don't know how he won the fight. The first fight was in Baltimore, and they had some janky scoring and things of that nature. One was overturned, and it was just a lot that went along with that. It told me why, as a professional, Gervonta Tank Davis never, ever turned his eyes away from Lamont Roach because of his traits. He told us he's afraid to lose. And Gervonta Tank Davis feels like he possibly lost those fights, right? He can't live with the fact that in the amateurs, he arguably lost it to Lamont Roach. He feels like Lamont Roach had his number. And now he felt like as a professional, he's grown. And Lamont Roach kind of somewhat stayed stagnant, right? He had a draw. He had a loss to Jamel Herring. So he felt like it was the right moment. I grew. He didn't. I could clearly beat him now. And I can sleep well at night. He clearly is, throughout the time from his encounters with Lamont Roach, he's never been okay with those fights in the amateurs. Never. Okay, he never was satisfied how those fights played out because he is too sensitive. Okay, he's emotional. So those things lingered, and that's why he thought that it was the perfect opportunity to catch Lamont Roach, beat Lamont Roach, knock out Lamont Roach, get a victory over Lamont Roach, right? And he could sleep well at night. It could answer internal issues. For instance, Antonio Tarver was chasing Roy Jones, but it was the opposite because he knew he beat Roy Jones in the amateurs and he felt like he could beat Roy Jones in the professional. So he's like, I got this dude number. It was in reverse for Tank Davis with Lamont Roach. He felt like Lamont Roach had his number. And I believe he felt like Lamont Roach had his number because they was young. And so now that they grew older, right, it's like you had, quote unquote, a dude in school, a bully or whoever it was that used to, beat you up in school, elementary school, grade school, middle school, right, maybe even high school. And now y'all grown men. So Lamont Roach was somebody who had his number from the very beginning. And Gervonta Tank Davis took the opportunity because he thought that he can slay those demons that he had from when he was young. He probably dominated, unless, he lost in the amateurs, but he had those victories. Though Lamont Roach stuck out to him because there was 1 and 2 in that area. Lamont Roach was from DC. He's from Baltimore. It stuck out to him. There was 1 and 2. It bothered him from when they was young. And he simply never got the opportunity, to clarify. And that's what he wanted, clarification. And now it shows us that in the pros, he chose him. Because the whole world was like, why you choose Lamont Roach? Or all the people. He chose Lamont Roach because he wanted to slay that dragon in his head. And it didn't play out that way. In fact, it played out the same way it played out in the amateurs. And he realized to himself, I can't beat Lamont Roach. He got my number. That's why he was hesitant, because I talked to people that said that Tank Davis did not want the rematch. He was dragging his feet on the rematch. Reason being is because he understands and he realized that Lamont Roach just got his number. Some styles make fights. Some people just have your number. And he realized Lamont Roach has his number after that first fight. That's why he was out of character. He took an ill-advised knee. He said the grease got in his eyes, right? He understands. He don't want the rematch. That's why he was talking about Lamont Roach's personal life, where his children go to school, where he lives. You still live at this house, because he's out of character, because he's emotional. And he understands that Lamont Roach has his number. And Floyd Mayweather thought he won that fight, Lamont Roach that is, as well. That's why Lamont Roach is so comfortable with the rematch and was comfortable going into this fight and very confident, because he understands that, I got this dude number. I know what his power is like. I know what his temperament is like. I know what his skill set is like. And I know him in his head, living in his head rent free. That's why Gervonta Tank Davis didn't want and don't want the rematch, because he understands that Lamont Roach has his number. And now he's not happy that the way the fight played out, he expected to knock him out, and he didn't. And now he's in a position where the world wants to see that rematch or Shakur or so on and so forth. And now he's in a pickle. Now he's talking about retiring. So it all has been clarified and explained. Gervonta Tank Davis chose Lamont Roach because he wanted to slay those demons that he had in his head emotionally from when he was a youth, when they fought in the amateurs, that he never got over. He never got over. He feel like Lamont Roach did that because they was young. And now he grew up. Now I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm better. Right? Remember I said, the worst thing that happened to you is that when you put everything you have into something and don't have a safety net to fall back on and an excuse, an alibi. See, when he can say, I didn't train like I wanted to train, I didn't run like I wanted to run, I didn't turn over every stone, I didn't do everything I needed to do. Okay, that was your safety net. Now you got to show us that you put everything into it, and now you got to be better. He don't feel like he could be better. Because, see, he ran across that bully from high school again, from middle school again, from grade school again, And the bully was able to do the same thing. No matter how much he progressed in his life and his skill set, the bully was able to do the same thing he was all those years. And he can't live with it. So he's happy to live with a draw. He's happy to have a draw on his record rather than a loss. That's why he was so happy after the fight. He was so joyful. He wasn't distressed. He wasn't upset, because in his mind, I got a draw again. There's still no clarification, but I could still rest at night. See, it's all explained now. It's all explained now. Period. And this is why he wants to get out, because he understands. Just like with Shakur Stevenson, just like with Devin Haney, right? He knows they give him trouble. He can't sleep with himself, can't live with himself. Period. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. We'll be live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure y'all tap in. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be live tonight. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.